This is for the little brothers, and this is for the schoolyard wimps and the childhood bullies that tormented them. For the former prom queen and for the milk crate ball players. For the nighttime cereal eaters and for the retired elderly Walmart store front door greeters. Shake the dust.
One.
This is for the benches and the people sitting upon them, for the bus drivers who drive a million broken hymns, for the men who have to hold down 3 jobs simply to hold up their children, for the nighttime schoolers, and for the midnight bikers who are trying to fly. Shake the dust.
This is for the 2-year-olds who cannot be understood because they speak half English and half God. Shake the dust. For the boys with beautiful sisters. Shake the dust. For the girls with the brothers who are going crazy. For those gym class wallflowers and the 12-year-olds afraid of taking public showers. For the kid who is always late to class because he forgets the combination to his locker. For the girl who loves somebody else. Shake the dust.
One.
This is for the hard men who want love, but know that it won't come. For the ones who are forgotten, the ones the amendments do not stand up for. For the ones who are told speak only when you are spoken to, and then are never spoken to. Speak every time you stand so you do not forget yourself. Do not let one moment go by that doesn't remind you that your heart, it beats 100,000 times every single day, and that there are enough gallons of blood to make every one of you oceans. Do not settle for letting these waves that settle, and for the dust to collect in your veins. This is for the celibate pedophile who keeps on struggling, for the poetry teachers, and for the people who go on vacation alone.
For the sweat that drips off of Mick Jagger's singing lips, and for the shaking skirt on Tina Turner's shaking hips, for the heavens and for the hells that Tina has lived through. This is for the tired and for the dreamers, for the families that want to be like the Cleavers with perfectly made dinners and songs like Wally and the Beaver. This is for the bigots, for the sexists, and for the killers. And for those with the big house pin sends cats becoming redeemers. And for the springtime that somehow seems to show up right after every single winter.
This is for every one of you. Make sure that by the time the fisherman returns, you are gone, because just like the days, I burn at both ends. And every time I write, every time I open my eyes, I'm cutting out parts of myself simply to hand them over to you.
So shake the dust, and take me with you when you do, for none of this has ever been for me. All that pushes and pulls and pushes and pulls and pushes and pulls, it pushes for you. So grab this world by its clothespins and shake it out again and again, and jump on top of it and take it for a spin. And when you hop off, shake it again. Make my words worth it. Make this just not some poem that I write, not just some poem like just another night that sits heavy above us all. Walk into it. Breathe it in. Let it crash through the halls of your arms.
Like the millions of years of millions of poets, coursing like blood, pumping and pushing, making you live, shaking the dust. So when the world knocks at your front door, clutch the knob tightly and open on up, and run forward and far into its widespread greeting arms, with your hands outstretched before you, fingertips trembling, though they may be. The author of this poem is Anas Mahjani. The poem addresses just about all people and all characters in society, especially the ostracized and looked down upon, and suggests to them to shake the dust. Shake the dust is a metaphor meaning to live life to its fullest and rise above your struggles. The topic is the struggles of individual members of society, and the intended audience is every person who is willing to listen, for the poem attempts to address all of them. The message is essentially to move on from your past, from your history, from your struggles, from who you are seen and what circumstances have been cast upon you, and to rise up and live your life to its fullest. The themes are struggle, limitation, labels, stereotypes, and redemption. The artist creates a mood of hopefulness and, to a certain extent, joy. What makes this piece so good is the power with which it is spoken and the universality of its words. Majani speaks this poem with passion and conviction, showing that he believes and feels the words he speaks and causing the audience to believe and feel them too. The examples of people he uses are so universal and vast, there is something in the poem that nearly everyone listening can relate to. Something unique about this poem is that a person listening to it feels individually addressed, thinking, wow, he's talking about me. This is because he is. He is talking about everyone in the audience and everyone in the world.
The first line that I would cite to express the poem's thematic statement is, do not let a moment go by that doesn't remind you that your heart beats 100,000 times a day. Though the heart doesn't actually beat once every 2 minutes, this line strikes me as one of the ones that'll stick in your mind even after the poem is finished. It means to never forget that you're alive, and that your body is even reminding you that you are living about 0.6 times per minute. It is a reminder that to never let the dust settle, and to continue to live the life to the fullest and not let stereotypes or anything pin you down to one specific thing. The second line that I would cite is, so grab the world by its clothespins and shake it out again and again. In this line, Mahogany is referring to the world in terms of something that, like a rug, that must be shaken out to get the dust out. This basically summarizes the point of the poem, because he is saying not to live a life that is settled in some type of form that doesn't satisfy you. No matter who you are, you can still shake up your life and reinvent yourself to become whoever or whatever you want to be. The last line that I would cite is, for those families who will never be like the Cleavers, with perfectly made dinners and sons like Wally and the Beaver. This line summarizes for whom this poem is being told. Mahogany spends the entire poem saying who it is for, but in my opinion, this line is the most interesting choice to summarize them all with. It means that this is being told for the people who don't have the ideal life with a perfect family, a good job, and lots of money. The Cleavers were a family in the television series Leave It to the Beaver, and they basically had it all set. This line makes it known that this poem is for all those who don't have it like the Cleavers' lives, but who wish to approach it, telling them that they must shake up their lives and not wait for the opportunity to come to them, because it never will. They have to go out and find it themselves.